Hello, this is High Templar with my new Total War Warhammer mechanics video, and today we will be talking about Squig herds. So finally, after waiting for so long, we got additional units to the Greenskin rosters, and those are the Squigs we've been waiting for. They are quite an interesting unit, costing only 540 monsters in a unit. These are basically war beasts. They have armor of 50, which is quite interesting, since obviously Armored Night Goblin Hoppers has only 25, but never mind that. They have leadership of only 36, speed of 70. Again, the Goblin Squig Hoppers have better speed, which is kind of strange, since they actually have a Goblin on them, but maybe they are bigger. There is also very limited melee attack and defense, and very interesting weapon strength. So this is 31 weapon strength, of which 23 is armor piercing, and additional 11 bonus versus infantry. Very powerful. And 40 charge bonus for the unit that costs only 500, that's amazing. And at the same time, it's Vanguard deployed. So all these things make this unit very interesting indeed. Also, one more thing. This Squigs Go Wild. This is an augment that works for them. It's active if they are in a melee. It lasts for 15 seconds. And its recharge is leadership if is wavering. So it's additional 80% of armor piercing, additional 16 of melee attack, can cause fear and unbreakable. Does it make the unit unbreakable at all times? No, it don't. The leadership, if the leadership needs to be wavering for a few seconds. If it's not wavering, if it goes straight to break, then the unit will just run. But if you are on the verge of breaking for a few seconds, it's refreshed and you are unbreakable and you are much better. Alright, so let's test those units in a few scenarios. Firstly, in something that probably you will never see, but we have defensive unit of spearmen that fares pretty well against most of other units, but spears in general were meant to be fighting large monsters. Are Squig large? That is the question. They do seem to be menacing, but if you compare them to the actual humans, let's just see that. They seem to be smaller than humans, but the spearmen, at the same time, the spearmen didn't brace, so charge defense against large foes didn't work. So let's just see how this battle progress. Sorry about that. And very decisively the spearman has lost. However, the Squigs has lost some of their ranks, 1/3 of the ranks, and 2/3 of their life. So that's not very good, basically. Let's see how those guys will fight the Dwarf Warriors. Alright, so the Dwarf Warriors, one of the best low tier units, if not the best low tier units that are available in the Total War Warhammer game. They do have also charge defense versus large, but they don't use it here, they just charge in. And as you can see, Squigs, I actually managed to wrap around them, which might not be happening in your normal game, but we will see Squig Goes Wild here, very nicely shown. So at first they were winning decisively, but now it's more like even, they are losing lots of health, and now, see that? Squigs Go Wild. Just look at this leadership bar and see what will be happening, okay? This is first use of Squig Go Wild. And then few seconds and second. And third. And fourth. And fifth. Can you see that? However, our Squigs won this battle barely. But yeah, okay, this is again a very good unit. So at the same time, you need to remember that I was actually charging. That makes this unit much better in much better in combat. Let's just see how they will fight against Longbeards. Longbeards are mid-tier unit, amazing unit, not costing that much, but Squigs are 500 and anti-infantry. Longbeards are like general use infantry, but they have large armor, but Squigs are armor piercing. So they actually should be kind of winning that. But we've seen their performance, and at the charge, as you can see, quite a big damage, but now it says unit is winning slightly, but you can see that the bar is... they are losing more and more, basically. At the charge that was very nice damage, but later on it starts to slow down a lot. That's charge bonus of 40 working its way. It says that they goes away winning, but they are not. And as you can see, they broke. Squigs Go Wild didn't appear there, and they lost. So, what else can we tell about those guys? Let's see. Let's see what will happen if I will charge Dwarf Warriors into the Squigs. I am testing Dwarf Warriors because people will mostly use them against dwarfs because of armor piercing, because of anti-infantry, and because in the campaign you will use them against dwarfs a lot, fighting with Crooked Moon, Clan Angrund, which are actually using Crooked Moon. And now I am using dwarves and I am charging straight into those guys. And huge damage on the charge, just look at it. My guys got wrecked on this charge. But it is expected, those guys are doing 40 charge bonus. Even if they are not as good. And broke, my guys broke. Having lost 2/3 of their health, they broke. So that's expected, really. What will happen if I don't charge at them? So those guys have charge defense versus large, but Squigs don't seem to be large, and the other units like, you know, Dwarf Warriors or Spearmen don't treat them as large units. So what will happen? I'm bracing here, and those guys charge at me, and look at that. My unit did lost some on the charge, but not like that great. And right now, it seems that the Squigs are using decisively, but just look at it. It's starting to be more and more even. Now the combat is even. And when those guys are, Squigs go wild, and after Squigs go wild, then they break. And I actually won that. Which is strange, because it didn't really seem like that should happen. That was most probably due to my formation. I've maintained square formation, and square formation allowed me to basically mitigate the charge bonus as much as possible. How the Squig herds will fare against Squallers? Let's just see that. You must understand that those guys have 50 armor, and they do have Vanguard deployment. So, yeah. Although they more or less breaks a lot, they still are able to charge at the Quarrelers and devastate them in the fair combat. How about Thunderers? Because those guys have 50 armor and Thunderers are much better in stopping them. Well, that would actually depend, because those guys have Vanguard deployment. If you actually use the Vanguard deploy and go into the Thunderers very quickly, the first charge almost breaks the guys, the Squigers, but later on they are able to win that battle pretty decisively. However, if you put them away, come on. So what will happen if we actually put them on the verge of the range of the Thunderers? So shot 1, almost broken. Shot 2, broken. Squigs are running away, because Squigs Go Wild only works if they are in melee combat, and those guys weren't in melee combat and they have only 36 leadership. That's really low. So be careful about that. There will be some times when you will be fighting greatswords. And I wanted to test how those guys will do against greatswords. Although greatswords do have bonus versus infantry and large armor, Squigs do have armor piercing, and they are not infantry. So that bonus will be nullified. So yeah, charging against each other. And as you can see, greatswords losing on the charge, but after that they are holding pretty well, and that's to be expected. Those creatures are very low tier. However, they did brought longswords, greatswords below half. So if you have 2 of those units, I remind you the greatswords cost 950 and they break. They would be able to basically destroy them quite easily. We can, however, improve that against some of the units, like the greatswords, who do not in fact have charge defense versus large. They do not have any charge defense really. What will happen if we cycle charge? But the cycle charging with the Squigs must be done very well, must be done very quickly, because you don't want to stay for very long. It would deal enormous damage to the enemy, that's true. But you need to retreat before the Squigs get enveloped in the enemy units, basically. So now here I lost only single Squig, and you can see from the losses on this unit versus losses on this unit that the greatswords got worse of this engagement. Boom. And as you can see, Squigs do manage to keep those greatswords pretty beaten up, but after the Squigs Go Wild was activated, couldn't really get full of them, couldn't really disengage, because those guys would run away, because they wouldn't be any longer in combat. But as you can see, losses on the greatsword were slightly larger, either larger enough to make it a viable tactics, I'm not sure. Let's test those guys against some of the cav units, because while they are fast, the only unit that will be trying to catch them will probably be a cav unit. So let's say they are facing Knights of the Realm. Knights of the Realm don't have armor piercing, do have quite large charge, and they have large armor. Squigs do have armor piercing, do have decent charge, and obviously have a decent armor. That should make it a pretty interesting fight. Now I'm charging here from the side, which might not be the best of ideas. And this Squig herd is running away, but this Squig herd, because of their clumpiness, will be standing and fighting here for quite some time. This will allow for my other unit to go back in the fight and charge at the Knights of the Realm, making them run away. However, if I will be actually controlling the Knights of the Realm, well, that would be quite a different story. Knights of the Realm being cheaper, I do believe Squig herds, because of their bonus versus infantry, quite a large bonus versus infantry, will be decent versus infantry, but not actually against cav units. Just look at this charge, and if I envelope, obviously if my enemy would be using their Squigs better, like run away and try to charge me with the other unit, that might work out better, but white front attack from charge from the Knights of the Realm will destroy them very fast, because of the difference in charge bonus basically. Yes, Knights of the Realm will suffer, but will suffer like horrendously, as you can see here. Also, if you will be fighting, putting them against some of the lighter units, the result will be similar. If Squigs will be attacking mounted yeomen, Squigs will win. I mean, in the AI scenario, because those guys cannot fight very well. I mean, mounted yeomen will try to run away and cycle charge, and you can't do that with Squig herds. On the other hand, if you charge at Squig herds when the AI is controlling them, they will stop. They won't even try to charge you back, and that is making a problem, because yep, those guys will die very quickly without their bonus. And mounted yeomen don't really have any armor, they have everything in the pure hit points, so yeah, they are overrunning those guys pretty quickly. There are some other even worse scenarios. If you attack if you try to attack the Chaos Warriors, that would obviously be quite a loss. However, what I want to say is that those guys aren't really meant to defeat such a high tier infantry. They are very situational, and you need to be very careful when using them against range units, because range units will make them run away very quickly because of their low leadership. So yeah, quick victory over the yeomen. And they will win some of the battles if you play them well. Point for point, gold for gold, they will win with any infantry you will try to match against them, except the Longbeards. They would lose against Longbeards, but they will win against pretty much everything else. However, you have to be very careful when fighting a unit with the high charge bonus, and I do mean only if you are actually fighting a multiplayer, because AI wouldn't be able to do that. But if you have a unit with very high charge bonus, like the Gore here, infantry, plus 24 charge bonus, they will destroy quick herds very quickly before those guys will be able to do anything. Yeah, well, with the Dwarf Warriors, like I said, you need to present a very narrow front for the Squig charge bonus to don't take that much of the effect, in the similar way as you would defend Iron Breakers against 3 units of Gors. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like, comment if you will, and see my other videos in Total War Warhammer, my mechanics videos, my DLCs analysis videos, but also my Let's Plays in Total War series and other games. Thank you for watching, and see you later.